what's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of On the Needle. It's not Friday, but it's Saturday, so hey, I still made it for the weekend timing. I know it's been a little while. So, there's been a lot going on in music, and before I really get started, I want to say that I'm not sure if you all are aware or not, but it seems to be true from what I've been seeing, that the R&B singer Angie Stone, who unfortunately I don't have any of her vinyls, I would love to have some. I've always loved her music. She has passed away. I believe it was from a car accident, if I'm not mistaken, in Alabama or after a performance in Alabama. So prayers up for her family, her children. I know that she used to date D'Angelo. He's the father of at least one of her kids, I believe. But very, very tragic news. She is an R&B legend, in my opinion, and I feel like she's one of those artists who, while she was living, did not get the just due that she deserves. She has an amazing voice. I think she's very talented. She's been in the industry for, I think it had been like 40 years, a long time. But anyway, as I said, prayers up to her. I just found that out today. So yeah, it's sad. So hug on your loved ones, tell them you love them, because tomorrow is really not promised. So in the R&B vein, and I feel like kind of in that spirit, Angie Stone was one of the artists who helped usher in the neo soul movement. And one of those artists who I would say probably is the front runner. I would say him and probably Erykah Badu of that movement would be Maxwell. So his album Embrya, I don't know if he's ever said if he really took these pictures underwater, but it's a pretty dope album cover, I think. And then you have here, it looks like there's another water shot. He's the artist who I have the most vinyls of. Well, I think it's a tie between him and Erykah Badu. I may have maybe one more of hers than I do of his, but this is a cream colored vinyl, so it is colored, and there are two of them. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this album came out in 1998. The vinyl came out 20 years later. So this is like a 20th anniversary edition of that vinyl. So now it's crazy to think that it's approaching 30 years since this album has been out. So as I showed the vinyl here, we have the inside there. Also, which was a nice touch, are the lyrics. A lot of these lyrics on this album are kind of minimal, but that's not a bad thing. And I feel like this album, everybody has a sleeper in their discography. So what I mean by that is, if you look at your favorite artist, more than likely they have an album that maybe didn't perform as well commercially, or maybe it did perform well commercially, but just is not as revered as maybe some of the big albums of that artist's catalog. And I feel like Embrya is that album for Maxwell. I feel like it's aged very well, and it was a bit ahead of its time, I think, because it had this meditative vibe. It's one of those albums where if you put it on, you can't help but to be in a relaxed mood, like a chill mood. It's like a mood booster. It's a mood stabilizer. I feel like it's just a really great album. And I'll be honest, when it first came out, I think maybe I wasn't old enough or mature enough to really appreciate it. As I've gotten older, I feel like I appreciate this album much more than when it was first released. And I think, judging by the resurgence of some of the songs from this album, I would venture to say a lot of people feel the same way. So I'm gonna show y'all this whole spread here. So these are just kind of more pictures. Again, really cool photo shoot. I would love to take a photo shoot like this. I think this would be so cool to do. Can't can't remember if this had a booklet or not. I think it did. Okay, so yes, this also has a booklet. So Maxwell was kind of, back then, the stuff that he used to wear was a little eccentric. And we think about, fast forward to today, people like Lady Gaga or, even Andre 3000, especially in the height of Outkast's reign in the early 2000s. This wasn't really being done until after the year 2000, I feel like. Of course, you had people like, the Marilyn Mansons and stuff like that were shock value based on the rock side. But in R&B, you didn't really see that too much. So I think that's something that Maxwell was a front runner of, and he doesn't really get enough credit for that. I don't know what this thing is on his head, but hey, go for it. Do it. So this is just, different kind of avant-garde style photos that are inside of here in this picture booklet. There's also a write-up of Embrya, which is pretty cool here. It kind of talks about the trajectory of his career and how Embrya played a part, in his earlier albums because, Urban Hang Suite, his first album, came out in the 90s as well. And this album was a bit of a switch from that. I feel like Urban Hang Suite was, although it was neo soul, it was something new at the time, it was a lot more digestible, if you will, than Embrya was. Embrya didn't really have a lot of commercial, kind of radio-friendly songs. There were a few. There were some there. But not a lot. And so this write-up continues, and this write-up was penned by Gail Mitchell, who at the time, I'm not sure if they're still in this role, the senior editor of the R&B and hip hop division of Billboard. So I think that's really great that he included this, especially for those diehard fans and people who love to know the story behind the music and have collectibles and things like that. Now with this album, I will say right out of the gate, he chose a great starter single because I love Luxury, Coco Cure. That's one of my favorite songs of his. Love that song. Matrimony, Maybe You. I feel like that was another one that created some buzz. Outside of that, a lot of these songs, as I'm looking through the track list, they're kind of deep cuts. They're songs that you really have to be a Maxwell fan to really know. I would say I'm You, You Are Me, and We Are You. That song, there are some people that know it, but by and large, it's not one of the ones that's on the top of people's list. So, songs like Arroz con Pollo, Know These Things, Shouldn't You, Submerge, Till We Become the Sun. Love that one. That's one of my favorites on the album. Gravity, Pushing the Pull. Even the way that he titles these songs, there's like a headline, if you will, and then there's like a subtitle of the song. So it was out there, and I feel like it wasn't appreciated as much as it is now. But y'all let me know. Let me know what you think about this album, Maxwell, Embrya. What are some of your favorite Maxwell songs, period? And just what you think about the album and how it's aged nearly 30 years later. So again, thanks everybody for watching, being patient in between time while I'm uploading these videos. And we just hit over 600 subscribers. So thank you all so much for the likes, the comments, the shares, and for the subscriptions. I really appreciate it. So it's up from here. Let's keep it going. And until next time, peace.